From Target Field, the homestand will come to a close with a quick two-game series against the Chicago White Sox. It is cloudy, it is cool. The rain, at least the substantial rain, we think, has come to an end. So it looks like we're going to get to play baseball on time and uninterrupted. 45 degrees the temperature, but it feels like
45.
And the opening game of a quick two-game set with the Chicago White Sox coming up in just a moment. Dick Bramer along with Bert Blyleven. You know, since Chuck Knobloch was traded a long, long time ago, the Twins were looking for a capable, prototypical leadoff hitter. They've got one, in fact, one of the best in the game.
Yeah, Denard Span has done a great job in that leadoff spot. And they're going to have some bumps in the road, but over the last 9 ball games for Denard, he's found a way to get on, hitting .410. And prior to that, the 10 games, one of those bumps that he hit, he didn't play as well, but the big thing is Orlando Hudson. He and Orlando Hudson, very good 1-2 combination in that top of the lineup.
Well, the Chicago White Sox have been one of the great disappointments of the year so far, and as much as they tried to reinvent themselves over the winter, they are one of the most powerful teams in the league with the top power hitter in the major leagues.
Yeah, they really do. They have some power in their lineup. They're just not hitting very well. Hitting .228 as a ball club. Paul Konerko, you can see the numbers: 13 home runs, 27 RBIs, second in American League behind Miguel Cabrera. This guy, what he does, he brings a lot of consistency to the middle part of the lineup, and the Chicago White Sox need his bat in that lineup.
Well, today the Twins put shortstop J.J. Hardy on the disabled list, but tonight they welcome Joe Mauer back behind the plate. Good to see number 7 back behind the plate where he belongs. The opening game of a two-game set with the White Sox comes up next.
Local Northland Ford dealers. Visit your local Northland Ford dealer or go to northlandford.com. By Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. By GMC. We are professional grade. And by Anheuser-Busch. Want to go home with me tonight? I'm the designated driver. Budweiser. Responsibility matters.
The first ever game between the Chicago White Sox and the Minnesota Twins at Target Field. First pitch is coming your way in just a couple moments. I'm Robbie Mikowski, and it's no secret that the Chicago White Sox the last 2 seasons have struggled playing in the city of Minnesota. They've won just 3 games in their last 18 trips to the Twin Cities. Ozzie Guillen, not a fan of the Metrodome, but he does like Target Field, and one of the main things he likes is that when he meets with the media, he doesn't even have to leave the seat of his chair in his office. At the Dome, he would have to come out into the tunnel to meet with us. Now, Ozzie was asked in his pregame meeting with the media while sitting in his chair, what kind of advantage do the Twins have here at their new ballpark?
I don't think it's going to be loud like it was in the Metrodome. I think it's not going to be, to me, they're playing good here. They're playing good here so far. But I think the advantage they have in the Metrodome, they was pretty good. They have a lot because they have players for that particular field, but I'm glad they move out of there. Not because the way a lot of people play, not just us. I think what's any fun place to play.
Kevin Slowey hopes to continue the White Sox misery in the Twin Cities. When we come back, it's Dick Bramer and Bert Blyleven. First pitch next.
Not been kind to visitors from the AL Central. The biggest complaints have come from the White Sox clubhouse, where Ozzie Guillen said he would rather play the Twins on the moon than at the Metrodome. So far, Minnesota's Metrodome magic has translated to Target Field. Can the Twins keep their spell over the Sox in their new home? Find out next on Fox Sports North. Some anxiety as to whether this game would start on time, but Kevin Slowey taking the mound, and very significantly, Joe Mauer taking his position behind the plate. He'll catch Kevin Slowey. First time Joe has put on the catching gear since he injured his heel on the road a week ago. Bernard's batting order for the Chicago White Sox. It's a lineup that has really struggled this year. Juan Pierre leading off. A.J. Pierzynski's hit just about everywhere in the lineup. Tonight he's hitting second. Andrew Jones third, Paul Konerko fourth, Alex Rios having a very good first full season with Chicago. Then Carlos Quentin, Mark Teahan, Gordon Beckham, and Alexi Ramirez.
And it's Kevin Slowey on the mound making his 7th start of the year. What they'd like to do is get more innings out of Kevin Slowey. He has only one quality start, and that was against the Cleveland Indians in his 3rd start of the year. He went 8 very good innings, but looking for his 5th win of the year, and control has been off just a little bit. He has not missed by much, and that's accounting for high pitch counts, and that is why Slowey, like his last outing, 5 2/3 innings. Would like to go 6 or more here tonight.
And the defense brought to you by Northland Ford. Delman Young at left, and Art Span at center, Michael Tanier in right, Nick Punto at third, Brendan Harris at short, Orlando Hudson back in at second base, Morno at first, Maurer behind the plate. Harris getting a chance to play at short for at least the next week. J.J. Hardy put on the disabled list today, and Matt Tolbert called up to be a backup utility infielder. So Juan Pierre will lead things off. You talked about Slowey's control being a little bit off, and Pierre takes a strike. That's how high the bar's been raised here in Minnesota. In terms of walks, he's still averaging less than 3 walks per 9 innings pitched, but his control has been off.
And he's not missing by much. Like that pitch right there, you'll find out what the umpire, Jeff Kellogg, will give Slowey, and he gives that pitch on the inner half of the plate.
Pierre having a tough time adjusting to his first full season in the American League.
Guy you have to keep off the bases.
And it doesn't look like the Twins did that. An 0-2 pitch, and Pierre dumps it softly into center field for a base hit.
Yeah, Pierre now has 30 hits. They're all singles. 15 stolen bases for Pierre in 19 attempts.
Like the Mercury key stat, Pierre, a big part of the fact that the White Sox, we mentioned in the open, they've tried to reinvent themselves. They have succeeded in being more of a running team.
Yeah, I mean, if you've been watching the White Sox over the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years, they're not much of a running ball club, but Pierre does bring a lot of speed.
15 steals and 19 tries. And here is A.J. Pierzynski. And Slowey delivers a strike.
Well, you're going to see some averages that are not what you will see probably toward the end of the year. Pierzynski, a .286 career hitter in his 13th major league season. You see the .204 batting average. Again, the White Sox hitting only .228 as a ball club, the lowest in the American League.
A little bit off the plate, 1-1.
Pierre leading the American League in stolen bases. The last time the White Sox have had a guy that led the league in stolen bases, you have to go to Louis Aparicio back in 1964. He stole 57 bases that year.
1-1 to Pierzynski, and Pierre takes off, and here's a fly ball to right. Kadir drifting back, Pierre retreating to the bag, 1 away. Well, a lot of focus on the left heel of Joe Mauer being tested for the first time tonight. Jim Laudner, what's a catcher going to go through if he's got a sore left heel squatting all night long?
You know, Dick, I don't think that's going to be a huge problem tonight. If he's in the lineup, he feels like he's capable of playing. And you know what? You talk about the stolen bases for the Chicago White Sox. There's nothing like the right arm of Joe Mauer to negate the running game of the Chicago White Sox today. I don't think it's going to be a factor. We just saw Pierre take off on the run. But you know what? I'd like to bet on Joe to make sure that he's going to throw these guys out. He's going to give it his best shot.
Little roller to short. How many will they get? 1, 2. So a leadoff single. The double play takes care of that. Hudson and Pierre jokingly joshing with one another. tonight. It doesn't look like it's going to rain anymore. Here's the Menards batting order for the Minnesota Twins. Menards Span leading off. Orlando Hudson hitting second. Joe Mauer back in the lineup. Good numbers against Freddie Garcia. Then Justin Morno, Michael Kadire, Jason Kubel, Dillman Young, Brendan Harris, and Nick Punto.
And Freddie Garcia starting for the Chicago White Sox, making his 6th start of the year. Looking for his 2nd win. And the scouting report on Garcia. He's been consistent for a 5th starter. He's other than John Danks, he's probably been the most consistent starter in the lineup.
Span with a lazy fly ball to center. And Rios comes in for the first out. Well, what I tried to say going into the break was that Hudson and Pierre, former teammates last year with the Dodgers, were jokingly jostling with one another, but I'm not sure there was much humor here.
Well, Pierre right there, you see coming in and kind of pinching, I think, Hudson right there, and I don't think that was joking around at all.
That's what the Chicago-Minnesota rivalry needs.
A little pinch.
Little spice. That's been pretty vanilla the last few years. And here's Orlando Hudson. So Pierre and Hudson, who were both key guys with the Dodgers last year. And a little altercation out there at second base. Strike one to Hudson. Back in the lineup after missing Sunday's game with a sore shoulder. Checked his swing, and it's 1-1. Well, in what otherwise has been a very disappointing year for the White Sox, they have to be thrilled to death with Garcia. He had a terrible spring training. Gave up an opponent batting average of over 400 in the spring. And they weren't sure whether he's going to be able to get many people out, but he's done that, particularly against the Twins.
Yeah, he's really only had one bad inning, his 2nd start in Toronto. Other than that, he's worked 6+ innings.
Another pop-up near third base. With the catch, and out number 2. The White Sox defensively have Pierre in left field, Rios in center, and Andrew Jones in right. Tian and Alexi Ramirez on the left side of the infield. Gordon Beckham was the 3rd baseman last year. Now he's the 2nd baseman. Konerko, of course, at first, and A.J. Pierzynski behind the plate.
First 2 hitters for the Twins are left-handed hitter, and then, of course, Joe Mauer, then Justin Morneau. Garcia's handled left-handers pretty well this year, hitting left-handers hitting just 186. It's the right-handers that have given them some problems.
Mauer with good numbers against Garcia. Kubel has good numbers. We'll see if Twins can do as they've done regularly lately, score early, particularly in the first inning. Floater outside, and it's 1-1.
Garcia over the years has changed his pitching repertoire a little bit. He'll throw more off-speed stuff now. Once had a very good fastball, but coming into this year, only 23 starts over his last 3 seasons.
Toward the gap. And he'll go into second with a double. And seem to run fine all the way to second base. He has a new shoe, an orthotic shoe that will help cushion that left heel, and nothing wrong with the swing as he gets a 2-out double.
Just takes that pitch the other way. Joe Mauer, typical double right there, hitting the gap, his 9th double of the year. And Rios gets it back in.
The only problem with this is first base is open, and the White Sox will go after Morno, or will they? There's a first pitch strike. Morno is leading the major leagues in walks with 27. Teams have been pitching him very, very carefully, as you would expect. He's leading the team in home runs with 7. Down and away, 1-1. He had a terrible game on Sunday, 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. I notice he's not using the pink bat.
And Justin just 4 for 27 lifetime against Garcia. Well, Garcia first 2 pitches off-speed pitches, and another off-speed pitch missing low.
When you say off-speed here at Target Field, it doesn't even register on the display board here yet.
Might be that fork ball that Garcia throws.
3-1, a first pitch strike, and now pitching him away, away, and away. Here's Kadire in the on-deck circle, hoping for a chance. It's the 28th walk taken by Morno. First and second, 2 away. Twins baseball is brought to you in Sony High Definition. Kadire leading the team in runs batted in, and he's got a chance to add to the total of 23 here in the first inning.
Well, Garcia making his second start against the Twins. He lost a tough 2-1 ball game to the Twins in Chicago. Baker outdueled him, and Garcia gave up a 2-run home run to Jason Kubel in the 7th inning.
Ball 1. We noticed it when Garcia pitched against the Twins in Chicago. He used to be a very deliberate worker, but he's almost like a right-handed version of Mark Burley now. He's really picked up the tempo, it seems. Swing and a miss, 1-1.
And another off-speed pitch right there. Again, I think what's helped speed up the games this year is, Garcia, if he wants to, he can go to his mouth on the mound. He doesn't have to take that stroll around the mound to get back on.
Count is 0-2. And now 1-2. $122 men on base in the Kadire at bat so far this year.
That's a tribute to Span, Hudson, and Mauer. He's been able to get on in front of these guys.
Miles per hour, backing it off to 77. He's trying to transform himself from more of a power pitcher into a finesse pitcher.
Does he want to be Jamie Moyer out there or what?
Hey, if he is, he can pitch for another 12 years, 15 years. And Pierzynski and Garcia will chat about it. It's a transition you never really had to make. I mean, your velocity must have come down over the course of the year, but I remember Garcia with, plenty of life on his fastball, 92, 93 miles per hour, and he's trying to be a nibbler now.
Yeah, that meeting right there, Garcia calling out AJ. This is something, you want something to happen right here on a 2-2 pitch. You don't want to go 3-2, that allow the runners to take off.
Ground ball to the second baseman, and Beckham has it, throws to first, and the inning ends. A double and a walk are left aboard, no score after 1.
in the field. And one of the advantages the Twins have here at Target Field is the proximity of their facilities when they are in bad weather. They've got whirlpools, they've got a training room, the weight room is real close by. They had to walk all the way across the Metrodome, and look at that, 2 batting cages for the Twins. At the Metrodome, there was just 1 batting cage for both teams. Now the Twins have 2 batting cages they can use on their own, so really they lost no advantages with the inability because of the weather to take normal BP, and thus far we've seen a decent result through an inning, guys.
Thank you, Robbie. And at the other place, the 1 batting cage was deep into the right field corner. It wasn't anywhere near the clubhouse at all. 1 strike to Konerko, and now 2 strikes. The one thing, though, Bert, I'm wondering about for the White Sox, ordinarily they would have come here and had early hitting, and the outfielders would have had a chance to play some caroms off the wall, and they would have had some sense for how this ballpark plays and how the ball carries. They got none of that today.
That's too bad.
Short right field, and Kadire comes in to make the catch. Konerko. Well, you're not very sympathetic to a visiting team playing its first game.
We're not out here to make friends. The Twins are out here to beat the Chicago White Sox. So any advantage that they can take it.
And you look at the standings and you look at the schedule and you realize the gravity of the situation for the White Sox. This is a very, very important 24 hours for them. They're already 8 games behind the Twins, and if they, by chance, should not play well here in the next 24 hours and lose a couple of games, and I know it's just the middle of May, that's a 10-game deficit 5.5 weeks into the season. Up around the hands, and Rios takes a ball 1-1.
Oh, one of the hottest hitters is this guy at the plate right here, Alex Rios. There are the standings. You can see Chicago wanting to get back to the 500 mark and then go from there, where the Twins just want to keep adding.
High fly to left. 2 away. The Tigers, by the way, were rained out tonight in their game at Comerica Park against the Yankees. They'll play a doubleheader tomorrow. 2 down quickly in the second. That'll bring up Carlos Quentin.
Well, Slowey doing an excellent job of getting ahead in the count. 5 hitters, strike 1 on 5 straight hitters. A key to Slowey's success.
5 outs on 11 pitches. And here is Quentin. Quentin, one of the Chicago hitters, really struggling. He's sub 200 batting average. This past week, some hamstring issues that kept him out of the lineup.
He still has 20 RBIs on the year, so those hits have come when been on base.
Another one hit up into the gray skies here in Minneapolis. Hudson puts it away. 6 up, eventually 6 down with the double play ball on a total of 13 pitches. Today, that's of course, the Split Rock Lighthouse, which is celebrating its 100th birthday this year. And you can kayak up there and generally see the beautiful sights up there. The Minnesota Historical Society getting ready to celebrate the centennial throughout the summer. Jason Kubel takes low, ball one. Kubel responsible for handing Garcia a loss in Chicago. A 2-run home run, the only runs the Twins scored. 1-1.
That game, Garcia had 6 shutout innings. Baker had given up a run early in the ballgame for a 1-0 deficit. He gave that pitch to Kubel. Kubel hit the 2-run home run. And that was the final score.
Flip foul, and it's 1-2.
Take a look at the home run right there, a fastball, and Kubel taking it over the center field fence. And that coming in the 7th inning. John Roush picked up the save in that ballgame. Baker getting the win.
And Kubel then, after the next day, when the Twins opened up Target Field, hit the first home run in this ballpark in a regular season game and hasn't homered since. It's been a slow start for Kubel. And maybe this is the guy to get him going again. Ground ball to short. Ramirez has it. Over to Konerko, 1-1.
Well, Garcia making his 20th career start against the Minnesota Twins. He has won 9 times and lost 6 times against the Twins with a 3.76 earned run average.
One down, and here's Delman Young. Pitches up high, ball one.
You know, all those games in Chicago were close ball games. Remember game 1 over there, April 9th, which was a Friday, went extra innings, and the Twins ended up winning that ball game 4-3. And then that 2-1 ball game.
A high fly to deep center, but Rios is out there for the second out.
Then the final game, the White Sox beat the Twins 5-4.
Yep, all 3 games decided by a run. Pick up a great graduation gift at any of the Twins merchandise locations this weekend. Twins Pro Shops are located in Apple Valley, Roseville, and Minnetonka. Or come by the beautiful, majestic Athletic Twins Clubhouse store at Target Field. Open 7 days a week and stocked full of the latest Twins apparel and merchandise. 2 down, shortstop Brendan Harris at the plate. J.J. Hardy today put on the disabled list. He had an exam of his injured left wrist. He injured it sliding into third base earlier in the homestand. And he was diagnosed with a bone bruise, and they said it really wasn't probably going to get any better for the next few days. So the Twins called up Matt Tolbert and put Hardy on the disabled list. Hardy confident, the doctors are confident that when the 15 days are up, he'll be ready to go when the Twins get to Fenway Park. 1-2. 2-2. Harris with a good day at the plate on Sunday, picking up 3 hits. And that's through the wickets to the backstop. And a full count. Punto would hit next here in the 2nd inning. Reach the seats, and Harris will get another strike.
Harris has never faced Garcia before. Again, Garcia over the last 3 years, a total of 23 starts.
To left field, hit pretty well. Pierre is in the gap to haul it in. 3 up, 3 down in the 2nd, on to the 3rd. No score. The White Sox and Twins.
circle.
And welcome to Target Field. Martin will lead things off in the third inning.
You see Best Buy, a big sponsor for the Twins.
Well, there they are, right behind home plate.
Yep.
Tian takes strike one. So far, Slow, he's thrown 14 pitches, 11 of them strikes. Tian has gotten some big hits for the White Sox, just not nearly enough of them. Hitting 230 with 7 runs batted in.
Yeah, Tim Laudner, you're down there. You get to see your little closer look at Kevin Slowey doing a good job so far.
You know, Bert, you talked earlier about the fact that he needs to, coming back from that sore wrist, get on top of the baseball.
And he drives one, Tian does, to the gap in left center field. He's aboard with a leadoff double.
Well, Tian got on that top of that baseball right there and went the other way. And that ball was just left up. Again, Tim down there. I mean, you know, his control to me, being a former catcher yourself, you know that he needs to pitch down in the strike zone because when that ball is up, it kind of flattens out a little bit.
And, you know, we talked about the fact that coming back from that wrist injury, we thought that he might have a tendency to push the ball a little bit, which would make the ball be up in the zone. He needs to make sure that he keeps his hand on top of the ball. Right. I think that Tian hit a pretty good pitch right there. He's a pretty good hitter, so I think Slowey doing a pretty good job tonight of staying on top and keeping the ball down.
I think anytime that you can make a hitter go the other way, that's kind of your goal, so they don't pull the ball over the fence, is kind of go against what their game plan is. And Tian right there, like you mentioned, Tim, he did a pretty good pitch the other way.
And Beckham takes 2 strikes and falls behind on the count 0-2. He knows his job here is to try to push the ball to the right side. And he's taken 2 strikes and finds himself in an 0-2 hole. A very disappointing sophomore year for Beckham so far. Slowey almost got him to chase 1 and 2.
And that's what Kevin will do sometimes. Slowey will try to go up that ladder to get the strikeout. Beckham in his second season with the White Sox. Again, Slowey did not face the White Sox all of last year. His last start coming September of 2008. Going inside. And that breaking ball left up a little bit right there.
Right in front of us. You know, you've got an interesting match here between a pitcher, Slowey, who's trying very hard to get the strikeout, set up pitches to get a strikeout, and Beckham, who, even though he's got 2 strikes on him, is trying to, at the very least, advance the runner.
Slowey over his career has averaged over 7 strikeouts per 9 innings.
And tap foul in early, got the strikeout.
Kind of an awkward swing right there by Beckham, almost a defensive type swing.
Well, Ozzie Guillen apparently seen a lot of those because they benched him because he wasn't getting it done at the plate.
Yeah, watch this right here. I mean, just kind of a short, kind of a, okay, at the last second, able just to get contact with that ball.
1 and 2 to Beckham. Driven to left and well hit. Young back, leaps and makes the catch. So Beckham hits it with authority, but it's a long out, and Tian still at second base. Nice play by Delman Young on the warning track.
Always a tough play for an outfielder to do exactly what Delman Young did right there. Beckham opens up quickly. He had 14 home runs last year, 4 so far this year. But Delman Young going back and leaping again. You know, still that warning track. It's still a new adventure for these outfielders. You know, where is that field for the wall?
Here's Alexi Ramirez. And Slowey again delivers a fastball, strike 1. If I'm up there as a hitter, and you know Slowey's going to get ahead of me, strike 1, why wouldn't you be more aggressive in the at-bat?
That's why I don't know. You know, I mean, Ramirez is a guy that's basically killed the Twins over his young career. He's had very good success. And we've seen him a lot go up there ready to hit.
I mean, I don't know what's going to happen in this at-bat, obviously, but I'll bet you that first pitch fastball that Slowey delivered might be the best pitch that Ramirez would have to hit in the whole at-bat.
I hope so.
Fly ball to right, hit right at Kadire. There's Teahan still at second base, 2 down.
And you can see a lot of fly ball outs off of Kevin Slowey. 6 already fly ball outs, but he's not a ground ball pitcher. He's not like Nick Blackburn or even Carl Pavano. His ball runs a little bit. It has a little bit of giddy up on it, and that'll create more fly ball outs.
Here's Pierre, who on an 0-2 pitch busted his bat and dumped a single into center field. And he was erased on a double play, and he and Orlando Hudson seemed to have a little shoving match at second base. Down and in, ball 1. The average with the base hit up to 236. The on base percentage 292.
Oh, remember Juan Pierre last year did a great job of filling in for Manny Ramirez when Ramirez was on that 50-game suspension list.
To right field toward the gap, but Kadyr's there. Teahan gets a leadoff double, 3 fly ball outs later. He's still left at second base. Followed by a space and the player's name to short code 234-234. We'll give you the final results in the Twins postgame show. So far, Joe Mauer 37%.
I don't see Frank Quillisi on there. He should be on there. Today's his birthday.
Is that right?
Yes, it is.
Happy
Frank
birthday,
Quillisi, yes. Former manager. He did everything here in Minnesota.
See, that's
Mr.
why I think
Quillisi.
Eventually he's going to be in the Twins Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Because he did everything for the Twins and still would do anything the team asked him to do.
He sure would.
2 strikes to Nick Punto to start the 3rd inning. You know, I don't even know if it's within the rules, but I would ask for a write-in campaign for Larry DeVito, the groundskeeper here. This field's in great shape. Took nothing but rain for about 30 hours here. And
for the Twins Hall of Fame already?
No.
Oh.
Here's a little chip shot to left, and Pierre comes in to put it away. For the Arby's Value Player of the game.
Oh, okay.
You can ask a question if you'd like at carsoup.com/baseball. Steve Porter from La Crescent. What time are the players expected at the park for a 7 o'clock game?
You know, I'm going to guess that they usually start showing up at 1 or 2. I think if you show up at 3 o'clock, you're one of the later ones. Players today come very early to the ballpark. Now, why wouldn't you? My goodness, these clubhouses are like, you know, a hotel room.
Span at the plate, 1 strike.
Span a fly ball in the 1st inning to Rijos for the first out of the ball game for the bottom of the 1st.
Foul. Well, I know when I get here at 10 in the morning, None of the players are here yet. 2 strikes to Span. Hit a fly ball to center his first time up. 1-2. Span hitting the ball very well in the month of May. Even in April, when his batting average wasn't very good, he was drawing a lot of walks.
He's gone through a couple spurts. He started off this season extremely, hot, and then it kind of tapered down a little bit, and he went through that little spell where we showed you he was hitting 171 in 10 ball games, but he's picked it up again. So this guy will probably hit 300 again this year.
2-2. Bouncer to second. Twins haven't hit much hard against Garcia again tonight. 2 down. If you're traveling this season, you can take the Twins with you. Subscribe to MLB.tv and see Twins games live or on demand. Get your subscription tonight at twinsbaseball.com. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere.
Yeah, Garcia so far has done a good job of changing speeds. Had Span way out front to where he just kind of hit that ground ball to Beckham at second.
Mauer's double well hit. Harris's liner to left pretty well hit. Hudson popped up to Beckham, or to Tien rather, his first time up. Ball 1.
Garcia coming off his last game that he pitched in Chicago against Kansas City. He won that ball game against the Royals, his first win of the year. Making his 6th start of the season.
That's to the left field corner, and Pierre will get there. Good running play by Pierre, taking an extra base hit away from Hudson. It's a 1-2-3 third for Garcia.
By both starters, Kevin Slowey and Freddie Garcia. Joe Mauer, his first game back behind the plate since that left ankle injury or heel injury. Doubled in his first at bat.
And we go to the 4th inning with no score. It'll be Pierzynski, Jones, and Konerko facing Kevin Slowey.
Yeah, Slowey 29 pitches so far in the ball game. 22 have been strikes.
Pierzynski a fly to right his first time up. Big swing by Pierzynski, and he fouled it to the screen. White Sox have 2 hits. They've both been leadoff hits. Twins have only had base runners with 2 outs in an inning. That was back in the first. His ears aren't cold, I know that. 1-1. Interesting situation for the White Sox surrounding Pierzynski. We talked about the importance of this 2-game series with Chicago already 8 games back. The Twins don't face the White Sox again until July. A.J. Pierzynski in June becomes a 10-5 guy, which means after that point he could refuse any trade that the White Sox might want to execute. And he's already addressed it with the media.
That's a surprise.
3-1. In essence, he said, we'll all find out in June, which direction this team is going. And if they go further south, the presumption is they might be interested in dealing Pierzynski before he can block a trade. High pop up behind second base. And Pierzynski, last time I saw a bat flip like that, it was Tom Wallace in the '87 World Series. One down, and Andrew Jones will be the hitter. AT&T Trivia, who was the last White Sox player to lead the American League in stolen bases. We're just going to see if you were paying attention.
That's right.
Because we gave you the answer earlier.
We have to go back to 1964. And that was the year that Maury Wills stole all those bases for the Dodgers.
Yeah, we're told that we might have given the wrong information.
Really?
We may have inadvertently misled our loyal viewers. Could it have been Scott Pasetnik a few years ago? Off the knuckles, and Morno over for a look, but it's into the camera section. Kim Laudner backed away from that. Ordinarily, he's really good on those foul
pops. Catch that ball, Lods.
One of the best the Twins ever had at catching foul pops, and he blew that one.
I could have had that, Bert. I could have had that one. I could have had that one, but my glove's upstairs.
2 strikes to Jones. Up and in, a check swing, 1-2. Disappointing as the year's been for the White Sox. If you had a comeback player of the year award after 5 weeks, White Sox might have the first and second place finishers in Jones and Rios. Slowly gets him here. First strikeout, 2 out on the 4.
Yeah, first strikeout for either pitcher.
And that'll bring up Konerko.
Well, Slowey again, about control, working off the plate. That ball left up a little bit, but he took a little off, and Jones a little bit quick on that. Swings through it.
Konerko hit a fly ball to right his first time up. Skied toward Hudson. A 1-2-3-4 Kevin Slowey with 4 shutout innings on 38 pitches. Grand Casino. Visit your local Lincoln Mercury dealer or go to experiencelm.com. And by AT&T. Find out what's possible with the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T. Rethink possible. I think reassuming a defensive position agrees with Mr. Mauer. Spanked the second pitch in his first at bat for a double. Tees off on the first pitch for a leadoff single. And Garcia, for the first time, will have to deal with a leadoff runner on base.
Yeah, Joe just, taking that ball the other way. Typical Joe Mauer swing. You pitch him away, he'll go that way.
In the first inning, when Mauer doubled, the White Sox pitched Morno very carefully, walked him on 5 pitches to fill first base. Now, presumably, they'll have to pitch to him. Mauer 4th in the league in hitting, Morno 5th in the league in hitting. And again, leading the major leagues with 28 walks. Foul back, got a pitch up, sent it to the screen. Well, the White Sox haven't pitched as well as they had hoped they would coming out of spring training. Jake Peavy's got things turned around, but he got off to a very poor start. Gavin Floyd, a disappointing start. Mark Burley. But the White Sox have gotten everything they could have possibly hoped for out of Freddie Garcia. Morno waits and waves at it. 1-2.
I talked to Ozzie Guillen about that this afternoon. Saw Don Cooper, but Ozzie Guillen was talking about how great that the starter tomorrow, John Danks, is pitching. And he said, Peavy's has, like you mentioned, going a lot better. Burley is Burley, Mark Burley. He'll end up with 15+ saves at the end of the year. But it's Gavin Floyd that they've really wins at the end of the year, 15 saves. Wins. But it's Gavin Floyd that has really not found himself yet.
2-2 to Morno. And now 3-2 with Kadire on deck.
And a pitching staff for the Chicago White Sox currently 11th as far as combined ERA at 4.72. The Twins are second in the American League, combined 3.51 earned run average.
Doubtful the Twins would send Mauer with the still not 100% left heel. And Morno pops it up down the left field line near the tarp and off the top of the railing. Still 3-2.
They would like to send Joe if he was a little healthier, because the Twins have had a lot of success against A.J. Brzezinski behind the plate. And Garcia has that little bit of, it takes a while to get that ball toward home plate.
So far, the only base runners have been guys not expected to steal bases. Mauer right now has been on twice, Morno once. Another 3-2. And he pokes it to left. So a promising start to this 4th inning with a pair of hits. And the 4th hitter and the 5th hitter in the American League continue to pick up hits. Fox Tracks brought to you by the Minnesota Department of Public Safety.
Tell you what, great piece of hitting right there. I guess when you have Joe Mauer hitting in front of you, I mean, look at Justin right there, just taking the ball the other way. Great piece of hitting by Morno.
And now Kadire, who came up with Mauer at second, Morno at first, and 2 away in the first inning, hit a ground ball to second. Comes up with those runners aboard and nobody out in the 4th. Fouled away. 1 strike. Kadire with 5 home runs on the season, all of them here at Target Field. Bouncer to third. Out there. And out there. And Kadire bounces into a double play. Morno takes Beckham out at second base, but a big double play for the White Sox with Mauer going to third.
Yeah, Gordon Beckham really hung in there at second base. Morno going in hard. Watch the quick throw by Tien, and then Justin just taking out Beckham. Dyer does hit it to the double play. Mauer at third.
And now the Twins need a 2-out hit from Kubel. Kubel in Chicago against Garcia. Home run and a single and a walk in 3 plate appearances. Garcia got him to ground out to short, leading off the second inning tonight. That floats over for a strike, clocked at 79 miles per hour. Takes 1-1. Weather conditions not ideal to pitch the baseball or hit it. You'd think the team that gets the first run would have a big advantage here tonight. Just off the plate, and Pierzynski may have gotten something in his eye. In catching the ball, something deflected from somewhere and got him in the left eye.
Well, umpire Jeff Kellogg right there to say, you're okay, get back down.
Better your eyes than mine, he's probably telling him, huh? Kubel takes, and it's 3-1 with Young on deck. So let's see what Garcia gives Kubel here on 3-1. Fastball or something to cut inside, and a foul ball. 3-2.
Garcia over his career, very good win-loss record, 122 career wins, only 83 career losses. Came up with the Mariners. Actually came from the Houston Astros in the Randy Johnson trade. Also pitched for the White Sox back in the 4 seasons. Didn't go too far.
Ball 4, and Kubel takes a walk.
Jeff Nelson, the third base umpire, saying he did not go too far for the second walk of the ball game for Garcia.
And Garcia's retired just the one batter, but he got 2 outs in 1 swing off the bat of Dyer.
Another off-speed pitch. Kubel holding up.
Delvin Young skied one to straightaway center field. Put the barrel of the bat on it. Sent it to the deepest part of the park. He's up here with runners at first and third and 2 away. Down the right field line. Down for a hit into the corner. Mauer scores. Kubel being waved around. There will be a play, and he will be thrown out by a mile. The Twins get a run. Pierzynski and Kubel with a chat at home plate. A run for the Twins, a 2-out hit for Young. Today's game brought to you by Budweiser, official beer of the first inning. Let's check out the crowd through the first inning fan cam and see who's enjoying the game. Budweiser, it's what we do.
She's celebrating her 40th birthday tonight, and she made the trip 4 hours from Valley Springs, South Dakota. Michelle, how are you braving the elements, and how much fun are you having if we could talk to you through the zero?
I'm a lot of fun. Yeah, this is great.
And then get circled by Bert?
Absolutely.
Bert, how about this? 4-hour drive, all worth it because of you.
Well, happy birthday to you, young lady. Happy 40th.
Well, the Twins give again a 1-0 lead to hand to Kevin Slowey, and he delivers strike one to Alex Rios.
Well, again, he's pumping strikes in there on that first pitch. 12 of 14 so far. Melvin Young picking up the RBI double as Jason Kubel got thrown out at home.
Rios brings an 11-game hitting streak into the game, a hitting streak that has seen him hit 400. And it's a 12-gamer now with a leadoff single, lined sharply into right field. It's the third Chicago hit. All three have come leading off an inning. And now Quentin. Quentin with a pop-up to Hudson to end the second inning. Or pass along. Happy 80th birthday to Gene Leskowski from Minot, North Dakota. It'll still be raining up in North Dakota. It might still be snowing up there. Anyway, Gene, happy birthday. One strike to Quentin. Slowey has faced one man over the minimum so far here. Pierre led off with a single, was erased in a double play, and then Tien got a leadoff double. Slowey got the next three batters.
Twins keeping an eye on Rios. 9 stolen bases in 12 attempts. Another throw over. It's not the Chicago White Sox that we have seen over the years where they were just trying to hope for that 3-run home run. How's again trying to add some speed. And Kenny Williams, the general manager, into the organization.
Rios goes, swung on and missed. Mauer's throw off of Hudson's glove and into center field. So a stolen base for Rios and an error perhaps charged to Hudson, who had the ball hit off the outside of his glove.
Yeah, a ball that Hudson knows he should have caught right there. Rios does get a stolen base, his 10th of the year. And a good strong throw by Mauer. I don't know if that would have even been able to get Rios. A pretty good jump right there. Takes off. And right off the tip of the glove of Hudson's glove.
Corner infielders up. Middle infielders back. 2 strikes to Quentin. Got him, 1 away. Well, the White Sox flailed away and didn't get the job done in the third inning after Tien's leadoff double. Didn't get him home, and now they've got a runner at third with nobody out. Now there's 1 out.
See, that's where you can change the eye level of that hitter. When you keep everything down, then he went up with that high fastball, and Quentin trying to get a fly ball somewhere for a sacrifice fly ends up striking out.
Now with 1 out, the Twins bring the infield in. Tien at the plate. Slashed a double to left center field his first time up.
Yeah, pitch out over the plate. Now they're going to work him inside. And misses inside.
The error charged to Hudson, allowing Rios to go from second to third. Twins outfield playing Tien to hit the ball the other way. Slowly trying to get him to pop it up. 1-1.
Now that error by Hudson, only the 7th error the Twins have committed this year. For Hudson, his 2nd.
Just off the corner, 2-1. Here we are. This is the 33rd game of the year. As you said, just 7 errors. There have been only 3 unearned runs that the Twins have allowed all year long. That's an incredibly low number. Two and 1. 3-1 with Gordon Beckham on deck.
Yeah, isn't it funny that a guy at second base who's made has four rolling gold gloves has more errors than anybody on the Twins ball club? Go figure.
Struggling Beckham on deck. Three and one, and time called at the plate.
Tian's already shown Kevin Slowey that he can take that pitch the other way. See if they go back inside again. Watch Mauer move. Inner half of the plate.
High and foul and back into the seats.
Slowey got away with that one. That ball was left out over the plate. Tian fouled it off. So as a pitcher, you tell yourself if you're walking, then you maybe set up the double play. Mauer sitting inner half, and you can see that ball ends up outer half of the plate, up in the zone.
Mauer and Slowey to the mound. Hudson will join them.
I would want that same pitch back because I knew I made a mistake right there. I got away with a pitch. I want to go back in right with another fastball. I'm going to get it inside. And we'll see what they discussed out there. How they're going to try to maybe get Tian out right here. Mauer will go through more than one sign, and he did. Going back inside again with a little pinky.
And left up again, and Tian fouled it to the screen.
He doesn't have the same swing on that one than he did on that fastball out over the plate. Got a defensive swing right there for Tian. These are little things that you can see. You see that ball right there. Tian kind of jamming himself.
Another full count pitch to Mark Tian. And he walked him. So now first and third, one away, and Beckham will come to the plate.
Well, he set up the double play right here.
Beckham on the season has not grounded into a double play, but again, he's really been fighting it. He was benched a couple days ago. Ozzie Guillen saying, look, I can handle the bad at bats. I can handle the low batting average. I don't want any woe is me attitude on the field. He's kind of going through this year what Alexei Ramirez went through early this season or last year.
The old sophomore jinx.
Swing and a miss, strike one.
Jeff Cox at third base, coach, going through signs.
Down and away, 1-1. Slowey trying to protect a 1-0 lead, but trying to pitch around a runner at third, nobody out situation here. He's gotten one out on the board. Straight back. Beckham with 27 strikeouts and 110 at bats. So he can be had here as Slowey hits his spot.
I think he just missed his pitch right there. A high fastball. Beckham fouled it straight back.
One and two. Foul back heading our direction.
A nice grab by that young lady right there.
She grabbed it, or it grabbed her. I'm not sure.
Fell right in her lap. Nice going.
I don't know that she got it with her hands. I think it got her right in the stomach. 1-2 to Beckham. Hit the ball hard his last time up to Delvin Young. And he lifts a short fly down the left field line. And Punto with a great effort, and he comes up a little bit short.
Well, we see this night after night from Nick Punto, and he'll get a round of applause right there for the effort. Might have knocked the wind off himself right there.
Well, Larry DeVito will be all over him. Look at him how he chewed up the turf here.
Well, he went a long way to try to flag this ball down.
Well, he banged his chin on the grass.
Look at his reaction, how quick he is, like a cat. His first couple steps, he knew exactly where that ball was headed.
And obviously with one out, conceding the tying run on a ball like that just to try to get the out.
He would have got up as quick as like a cat and thrown it home.
Tian may have scored from first base if he'd made the kick. 1-2. Half swing. Did he go? Strike three. 2 down.
I said he missed his pitch, and Kevin Slowey hung him a couple breaking balls that Beckham again missed. And this time right there, chasing that little cutter down and away. And a quick bat. And first base umpire Larry Vanover said he went too far. So Slowey picking up his third strikeout, a huge strikeout here in the 5th inning.
Twins built a threat in the bottom of the 4th, needed a 2-out hit from Young to score. Now the White Sox might need a 2-out hit from Ramirez if they're going to take advantage of Rios being at third base with nobody out. And the Tigers-Yankee game postponed. They'll play a doubleheader tomorrow. Ramirez with a fly ball to Kadire, his first time up. Ball one.
We don't see too many hitters like Ramirez that get right on top of the plate. Always thought hitters that stood in the box like Ramirez does, telling me two things. He's challenged me to pitch inside, or he's having trouble with that ball away.
And Slowey misses outside, then inside. It's 2-0. To the number 9 hitter with Pierre on deck. In the bottom of the 4th, the Twins got 3 hits and a walk, scored just 1 run. Garcia only retired 1 batter. And now a strike, 3-1.
Ramirez doesn't walk much, only 4 times. He has struck out 17 times in 106 plate appearances coming into the ballgame.
Three and 1. The Chicago shortstop. Runner at first goes, and the pitch driven to deep left center field. Span chasing it. And it's high off the wall. It'll score 2 with Ramirez driving in a pair with a big 2-out double.
Boy, he got a pitch out over the plate and just hammered it to left center. Ramirez with his 6th double of the year, driving in a couple runs, and the White Sox take a 2-1 lead. Fastball pretty much right down the middle of the plate. Ramirez, boy, he jumped all over that. Span could not flag it down. You're hoping that the ball hits the turf right there and bounces out. Instead, it stays in. It was a ground rule double. Tiam would have had to stay at third.
So the White Sox do get their big 2-out hit to score a couple of runs. A quick trip to the mound from Rick Anderson. And so you're out there and you've got a dicey situation, a 1-run lead. White Sox get a runner at third, nobody out. You bear down, you strike out Quinn. You bear down, you strike out Beckham. And you're one good pitch away from getting out of it, and then boom, it's 2-1, you're behind. Here's Pierre. Strike 1.
That's one thing Slowey's been able to do is do a good job at damage control. This is only the 2nd inning. In 39 innings, he's allowed more than 1 run an inning. A lot of pitches this inning, 25 pitches.
Ramirez with a running lead from second base. Didn't take off. 2 strikes. Jeff Cox trying to get Ramirez's attention. Twins aren't holding him close at all, and he was more than a third of his way to third base. Two strikes to Pierre. 1-2. And now 2-2. The White Sox are going to regroup and contend for a division title. They need Pierre to get it going in the leadoff spot. They probably need Ramirez hitting someplace other than ninth. But Ozzie Guillen has seen his team hit just .228. 2-2. And Pierre, nice stop by Hudson. Fires not in time. And it'll be an infield hit for Pierre. Hudson able to keep that ball in the infield. And for the time being, at least, prevent a run.
Yeah, Juan Pierre too quick down that line, and that's why he'll hit 300, a career 300 hitter in 11 major league seasons. Hudson, once he knows he was a teammate of Pierre's. He knows he has to get that ball over there as quick as he can, and Pierre beat it out.
Well, the White Sox have bunched some things together here against Slowey. 3 hits, a big 2-out double, driving in a pair of runs, and now Pierzynski 0 for 2 with a couple of outfield flies. Pierzynski with a fly to right and a fly to center.
So get ready, Delman Young.
It's his turn, right?
Yep.
Down and in, ball 1. Like Slowey's thrown about as many pitches here in the 5th inning as he did in the first 4.
Yeah, he needed 39 in the first 4, and so far 30 here this inning. This is what I was talking about before with, Slowey's just missing by a little bit, but now he's run into this inning that's an ugly inning. Trying to be a little bit too fine. Trying to make that perfect pitch, kind of what Dallas Brayton did on Mother's Day.
How about that? 19th perfect game in history.
I got a nice phone call from Dave Boswell before the ball game, and he had a trivia question for us. When Catfish Hunter threw his perfect game, who was the opposing pitcher?
This one driven to the gap in right center field, and it'll score 2 more. The White Sox got some big 2-out hits, a pair of doubles to make it 4-1.
Well, Slowey's falling behind an account, and he's coming in with that fastball that's right there. Rick Anderson on the phone.
This one lifted foul and out of play. Jones with a ground ball double play in the first, and he struck out swinging in the 4th. Alex Burnett starting to warm up. I was surprised to read that Joe Madden, the Rays manager and former Angel coach, has seen 4 no-hitters and 3 perfect games, and he's been on the losing side of all 4 of them. And he was, of course, an Angel coach when Eric Milton threw his no-hitter at the Metrodome. The last 2 perfect games were thrown against his Rays team. To right center field. Kadire charges, but Pierzynski will score. And the White Sox are getting more two-out hits here in this fifth inning than seemingly they've gotten all season long. And it's 5-1 Chicago.
Andre Jones picks up his 18th RBI. Again, a fastball pretty much right down the middle of the plate, and Jones just hits it the other way. And Joe Mauer out, maybe to give looks like Alex Burnett out in the bullpen, some more time to throw.
You know, this is remindful of the start that Josh Beckett had for the Red Sox his last time through the rotation, where he was absolutely in control through 5, and then everything blew up in his face in the 6th inning. And slowly just cruising through 4 innings on a pace to complete a ball game, and Twins finally gave him a run, and now everything kind of unraveling for him here in the 5th.
That location with that fastball. We've seen a lot of fastballs pretty much down the middle of the plate in this inning, where prior he was hitting his spots.
Here's Konerko, most dangerous man in the Chicago lineup, 9th man to bat here in the 5th.
Jones at first base.
4 for 5 with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. 4 straight hits here in the 5th inning.
6 stolen bases and 6 attempts for Jones.
And a first pitch strike to Konerko. And Konerko leading the major leagues with 13 home runs, and Slowey's gotten him to pop the ball up twice, once to right field, once to second base. Bouncer toward the hole. Hardy has no play. Harris at short had the ball deflect off the end of his glove, and it's another 2-out hit. And Slowey having a tough time getting outs, and he will not get the 3rd out here in the 5th. Infield hit for Konerko. He doesn't get many of those. And now Rios will hit for the 2nd time this inning.
It would have been a tough play if Harris was able to get that. But instead, Konerko gets the 6th hit of the inning for the White Sox.
Slowey sailing through 4 and all kinds of trouble in the 5th, and he'll come out with 2 gone. Time for the Quest high-speed pitch, brought to you by Quest High-Speed Internet.
Now Freddie Garcia, again, he's throwing a lot of off-speed pitches. Here's been clocked as 88, and Kevin Slowey at 90. Kevin Slowey, again, first 4 innings, 39 pitches in the first 4 innings, 36 pitches in that ugly inning right there for Kevin Slowey.
Temperature's supposed to get down to the mid-30s here tonight. And Josh Burnett will come into the ball game here in the 5th. Rios started this inning with a base hit to right. He stole second, went to third on an error on Orlando Hudson. And there was a walk and a couple of strikeouts, but then since, the White Sox have gone double, single, double, single, single. Outside, ball 1. Rios extended his hitting streak to 12 games with his base hit to right, but more importantly, his leadoff hit has led to so far a 5-run inning.
They got the ball rolling for him.
And now 2-0. Well, if you had many starts like this, I'm amazed you still have a full head of hair. What in the world went wrong with Kevin Slowey?
I never had a problem because I'd go in and beat up a trash can.
Oh.
And I was okay. We just got the ball up. We just left the ball up.
Down the right field line, and Morno near the railing as it go off his glove. And again, a little understandable uncertainty as to where the wall is, the warning track, and all that. You could see him look away from the ball momentarily, and that might have cost him an out.
Just off the tip of the glove right there. Justin knows where he's at. He knows he's near that railing.
Outs are important, but not at the cost of a broken femur. 2-1. Up the middle. And Harris flags it down, gets to his feet, and keeps the run from scoring for the time being. So Hudson did it earlier, and now Harris does it. And the bases are loaded still with 2 outs. That's 6 straight 2-out hits.
Yeah, Rios picking up his second hit. Kind of got jammed right there, but just hit it in the right spot. Harris, great effort knocking this ball down. And that keeps Jones at third base.
So a big at bat here for Carlos Quentin, with the White Sox already having scored 5 times. Quentin comes up with the bases loaded and 2 out. At the knee is a strike. Quentin with a pop up to second, and he went down swinging after Rios singled, stole second, and went to third on the error. 0-2. White Sox struggling with the bases loaded this year too, as the Twins have been, but they haven't had nearly as many opportunities as the Twins.
White Sox have not seen Alex Burnett. He did not pitch in that 3-game series in Chicago. See if they can drop that good hammer on him. That with a curveball, slider, fastball.
Foul tip, Bauer hangs on, and a very lengthy top of the 5th inning ends with the White Sox leaving the bases full, yet they score 5 times. Freddie Garcia's mistake to a 4-run lead. Brendan Harris takes up and in, ball 1. The Twins took a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the 4th. Garcia faced 5 men in the inning and retired just 1 batter. And Harris pops it up to short right center field. Beckham out. And now Jones makes the catch, 1 away. And that'll bring up Punto. The inning ended with a runner being thrown out at the plate, and then earlier in the 4th inning, Kadire bounced into a double play. So the Twins had their chances against Garcia. See if they can start a rally here in the bottom of the 5th. Punto shows bunt, takes ball 1.
You know, you mentioned earlier those guys up in the Budweiser deck area, you know, playing with that the natural gas up there. Tim Laudner, does weather affect the players at all?
You know, Bert, I don't think so. It's actually pretty decent down here. The breeze picked up just a little bit, but the temperature really isn't too bad. The idea is that the Minnesota Twins have had Freddie Garcia sitting in that dugout for a long time. Maybe get a couple pitches, a couple guys on, and see what happens right here. The temperature is not too bad. You can start to see some of the players' breath. You might see them reaching into their back pocket to get to the hand warmers. It's actually pretty comfortable down here right now.
2-1 to Punto, and a base hit down the left field line. Pierre playing over in that direction, and Punto takes a big turn and will hold up with a single.
A nice hitting by Nick Punto, and he knows what his capabilities are. He knows he's not a home run hitter, so he's looking for a pitch up and hopefully out over the plate, and that's exactly what he gets right here. Garcia leaves that pitch up, and Punto just slaps it into left field.
Here's Span, a fly to center and a ground ball to second. The weather that we have here tonight, as unpleasant as it might be, isn't any different than what we've experienced 1,000 times on the south side of Chicago. Span takes a pitch on the outside corner.
Yeah, another changeup right there. This is where the Twins would like to answer that 5-run top of the 5th inning. Not with 5, maybe just 1 or 2. Try to get back into this ball game. Big at bat right here for Span and Hudson.
Mentioned earlier the 3 games in Chicago all decided by 1 run. That's been the history between these 2 teams recently. Line off the glove of Tian, and the long throw across, not in time. It was hit to his glove side. He had it roll out, and Span gets an infield hit.
Well, again, Span, that always that possibility to bunt, so that third baseman has to come in and play on the grass. The ball away, Span, quick wrist, a ball that Tian should have caught right there. And we'll see how they rule it.
I think they've already given Span a hit.
Wow, thank you very much.
Well, here's Hudson. Hitting in front, of course, Maurer and Morno. And so you've got a great opportunity here if Hudson can have a productive at bat. Even in advancing runners here, the Twins have a chance to put a crooked number up in their half of the inning.
That's why I said it's very important for Span and Hudson. These at bats right here after Nick Punto, that 1-out single.
Now Hudson had a good at bat in the 3rd inning. Put a charge into one, lined it into the left field corner, but Pierre, with his speed, was able to track it down. Swing and a foul, 2 strikes.
Garcia had shoulder surgery back in 2007, and again, he's not the same pitcher he was back, you know, when he was with the Seattle Mariners and the White Sox his first time around. A lot of off-speed stuff.
Tap foul, and that'll sting Hudson. He's going to try to walk that off.
Now I got to ask Tim Laudner if it's cold down there, because that's gotta hurt.
Yeah, that's what do you call those big ouchies right there, Bert? That one's going to sting a little bit.
You feel that more, Tim? You've probably done that on a cold night.
The thing about it is you know what, you're going to look for Garcia or Brzezinski to call the same pitch, go right back down in there. I know I would.
Of course. Oh, I love you, man.
Down low, 1-2. You guys are sadists. 1-2 to Hudson. Brzezinski drove in a pair with a double and scored at the top of this inning. Now the Twins trying to answer in their half of the inning. Hudson strikes out. 2 down and Bauer to the plate.
Garcia picks up his first strikeout.
Time for the Coors Light cold hard blast. A little chilly reception between Juan Pierre and Orlando Hudson.
Oh, this in the first inning. See, Pierre looked like he pinched him right there, and they had some words. And then right there, they are looking at each other. Pierre making a nice catch off of the bat of Hudson.
So 2 on, 2 out. The Twins have got a big 2-out hit in the fourth. They're hoping to get another one here from Bauer, who has driven 2 line drives to left field. 1 for a double, 1 for a single. They come inside. Bauer ready for it. He missed it. 1 strike. Bauer jumping back into the lineup Sunday as a designated hitter, catching his first game tonight. 0-2. The Twins had a chance for a 2-out hit in the first and didn't get one, didn't score. Got one in the fourth. Now we're going to need another one here in the fifth. Brzezinski digs it out, and it's 1-2.
I tried to go fastball down and in. And AJ did a good job of keeping that ball in front of him.
Joe had his golf tournament yesterday to benefit the Friends of St. Paul baseball. Biggest tournament he's ever had. 9th year of the golf tournament yesterday. And he strikes out here with runners at first and second and 2 away. Garcia pitches out of a jam in the fifth. The elusive third out that Kevin Snowy couldn't get. Frosty Tuesday evening, but no rain since game time.
Again, the Twins, I think, have been very fortunate with the weather conditions. I mean, it rained all night last night, where, you know, The day off it rains. And here tonight, even though it's chilly, Twins are playing.
Played first 4 innings here in 54 minutes. Last inning took 42 minutes. Burnett starting his first inning of work. And a liner to Hudson. Almost went through the webbing of his glove, 1 down. You know, this is probably the hardiest test for Twins fans with the cold weather and the rain for, as you said, 24 hours or more. And yet here they are, a sellout crowd. And just about everybody here with blankets and parkas and sweatshirts and stocking caps. 1 down, Tien retired. Here's Beckham, 0 for 2. And it figures, doesn't it? Beckham struggling, and the one guy who needed a hit anytime had a chance, a big chance, in the 5th inning. And he struck out for what everyone thought at the time was a huge second out.
Yeah, I did too. I thought Kevin Slowey was going to work out of that jam.
Hudson charges. Beckham easily retired here for out number 2. AT&T trivia with Pierre hitting in the on-deck circle right now. Who is the last White Sox player to lead the league in stolen bases? I'm going to say Pacende.
I'm going to say Luis Aparicio, only because I did the homework on this. When Pierre, had 15 stolen bases, I had the year wrong, because Aparicio did lead the American League in 1964, like I mentioned, but he was with the Baltimore Orioles at that time. In 1962, he stole 31 bases. And that was the year that Maury Wills in the National League stole 104 bases.
To a lesser extent, didn't Aparicio do in the American League, but what Wills did in the National League kind of restore the importance of the stolen base? He was the guy, right, in the American League in the 50s and 60s for stolen bases?
Yeah, 9 straight seasons he led the American League in stolen bases. From 1956 to that final year in Baltimore, and he stole 57 in 1964.
His number retired by the White Sox, Aparicio's number, but it was unretired this year when Omar Vizquel was signed. I guess, players can unretire. Football players can do it forever. They can retire and unretire, retire and unretire. You can unretire a number, I guess, right?
Yes, you can.
2-2 to Alexi Ramirez. Off-speed pitch hammered into the left field corner, and that's a foul ball. Ramirez just enough hook on it to send it to the dirt part of the warning track in foul territory.
Ramirez, again, good numbers against the Minnesota Twins in his young career. 36 games, hitting .320.
Out of center, playable for Span, and Burnett has a 1-2-3 6th inning. Twins down by 4 with 4 innings worth of at bats to go.
Gordon Beckham in the third inning.
That was, of course, the Frost Brew Coors Light freeze game. Justin Morno leading off the sixth for the Twins. He's reached twice against Freddie Garcia. And he drives one to right field. Gone! His eighth of the year, his second here at Target Field.
Twins would have liked to have had a big hit in the fifth inning, but Justin Morno, he makes it a 3-run Chicago lead with his 8th home run of the year. A breaking ball, and we have seen Justin. He's a good low ball hitter. He just kind of golfed that ball out. As soon as it left his bat, everybody knew.
Pryor with a hard ground ball. See, that's great. Same choppers that he uses in the wintertime when he's out chopping or splitting wood, shoveling snow, brings him to a ball game. You don't need your glove if you got thick choppers on like that. Pryor lifts it to left center field. And an easy play for the center fielder, Rios, one away. .375 feet tape measure on Morno's shot. Here comes Kubel. Ground ball headed up the middle, and it'll get there. So Kubel continues to reach base against Garcia. He drew a walk in the fourth, and now a single here with one out in the sixth. And that'll bring up Delvin Young. Young, who drove in the first run of the game with an opposite field double, trying to extend the inning. And the Twins have had their chances, particularly since the start of the fourth inning.
Twins sitting on that first pitch for Garcia and just trying to hit it hard somewhere.
Twins have 7 hits in their last 13 at-bats against Garcia, or plate appearances, I should say, and there's a walk in there, so 8 of the last 13 batters have reached. High pop up behind first base. Beckham out. Andrew Jones with the catch for out number 2.
Jones had to go a long way for that ball right there. The ball kept kind of drifting back toward the infield.
So Young gone on one pitch, and that'll bring up Harris. Harris with a liner to left and a fly ball to right. Again, the news today, J.J. Hardy put on the disabled list. He'll be out another week or so. The Twins hope, and Hardy hopes, that he will stay here at the start of the road trip and join the team in Boston and be able to jump right back into the lineup. 1-0 to Harris. And now 2-0. Foul over the Twins dugout.
What I'm seeing right now is Garcia using more fastballs. Again, that fastball, not the 92, 93 like he used to have, but since Morno's home run, got Pryor out on a fastball. Kubel hit a fastball up the middle. He got Young on fastball to right field. He's shown Harris nothing but fastballs, all clocked here at 87.
Don Cooper, who was with the Twins the last time they played outdoors in 1981.
There's a breaking ball there. Ball to strike.
Harris doesn't like it, but it's 2-2. Cooper pitched for the Twins in the early 80s. And his memories, most of them fond of Metropolitan Stadium. Harris swings and misses, and again Garcia ends an inning with a strikeout. Twins get one back on a Morno home run, and it's 5-2. The Twins had the first lead tonight.
In the fourth inning, Dalvin Young slicing the ball down that right field line, picking up an RBI. Joe Mauer scoring. In the fifth inning, Kevin Sloy was rolling. 39 pitches in the first 4 innings, but then ran into trouble. White Sox scored 5 runs on 6 straight hits. Justin Morno of the Twins hitting home run number 8. A solo home run leading off the bottom of the 6th inning. We're at a 5-2 ball game with Chicago ahead.
Juan Pierre takes a strike on the inside corner. A couple of singles for Pierre. Burnett, who got the last out of the 5th, and all 3 men in the 6th, will go to work here in the 7th. I have to hurry. Harris fires and got him by a half step. 1 down. Robbie Ince-Mikowski with a bag of marshmallows up on the Budweiser roof deck.
I am, and you know, this roof deck is full right here, but the most crowded part, you can't even see the field, but they're around the fire pit here, all these people. Sir, that says hot, be careful, so you might want to remove your hand from there. Thank you. I'm saving lives here as well. This is part of my job, but a nice environment. Yes, it's chilly here as well. We don't have the luxury of sitting behind a window with coats on like you guys are. But all's well up here. Remember, Thursday and Saturdays, a few select games still available here for the Budweiser Roof Deck for your groups. Dick and Bert, enjoy your warm area with your coat.
All right, now put his hand back on that rail.
He put his hand. Why don't you put your hand right back on? Then I just tell you, hot, be careful, sir. I'll sit right here.
Up down the left field line in foul territory. Here's Pierzynski, 1 strike. Hey, what's this business sitting behind the window? I'm not sitting behind the window.
So? That's why they put windows in the booth.
No. I mean, when you are from Minnesota, you dress appropriately. You have clothes, and you have an open-air stadium. You should have open air between you and the ballpark.
I sensed that a foul ball was going to come into our booth, and I wanted no part of it.
California upbringing and the Florida living has thinned out your blood.
It really has. I'm very happy to be sitting behind my glass.
I swore that if we ever got an outdoor ballpark, I'd never have a pane of glass between me and the field.
Well, then take your park off.
No, I wear this stuff in the wintertime. You're out in shorts and golf shirts in January, and I'm wearing this stuff. The fly to center, hit right at Denard Span. Now he's got to come in a few steps to put it away. Out number 2. So Burnett's done his part to keep the Twins in the game. 6 up, 6 down.
And I am perfectly warm sitting here. Now Burnett did give up that leadoff hit to Rios, but then 6 up, 6 down after that.
See, we're open air. See, I can reach right out there, right out into the crowd, right into the seating.
So can I, see?
And the White Sox broadcasters are
Windex
hermetically sealed indoors. Andrew Jones, the hitter. A little bit high, 1-1. Jones off to his best power start of his great career.
Fox Track says that hit the upper half of that home plate.
High cheese and a swing and a miss.
Yeah, he wanted to hit that ball out right there.
397 home run for Jones, whose career was all but dead. Came back a little bit last year and a better start so far with the White Sox. Dropped some weight. Got himself in great shape. To left field. Short left field. In fact, the shortstop Harris squeezes it, and it's another 1-2-3 inning for Alex Burnett.
Loving it. By Toyota. Thank you for standing by us. For more information, visit buyatoyota.com. And by Quest High-Speed Internet. Get blazing fast speeds that won't burn up your wallet.
Twins have played very well here. They've not had a big come from behind win yet at Target Field. Maybe tonight's the night. Nick Punto will lead things off in the home half of the seventh.
Let's see if Garcia throws him another fastball up and away, and Punto can again slap it over to left field. Teeing in on the grass at third. That's what Garcia's done a very good job here tonight. Changing speeds.
Who is that clown?
It's Mr. McDonald.
Swing and a miss.
He must have very good arm motion, because I've seen a lot of Twins hitters tonight swing through that. He struck out Joe Mauer on a pretty good pitch. And Joe Mauer usually at least makes contact.
Off the middle, and Punto gets his second hit.
They tried to sneak a fastball by him, and Nick Punto jumped on it right there, hit it right back up the middle. His second hit of the ball game.
So Punto aboard. The Twins get another leadoff hit. Every time they've gotten a leadoff hit, they scored.
He threw him two breaking balls that Punto swung through, and then he tried to sneak that fastball down and away, maybe get a ground ball. Instead, Punto hit it up the middle for his second hit.
Sunday, the number 9 hitter, Casilla, got a couple of hits, and the Twins scored 6 runs. Now Punto has a pair of hits, and here's Span.
Hits are tied at 9 apiece.
That's deep to the left field corner. Pierre is there for the catch. Fair ball catch, and Span is quickly retired.
Well, we've seen the range of Pierre so far out in left field. Again, a guy that reminds me a lot of Mickey Rivers. When Rivers could play the outfield and very quick.
And another name I was trying to search for before. What about Lance Johnson, who wore the number 1 for the White Sox back in the 80s? Played center field for Chicago.
Yeah, Johnson walked normal. I think Mickey Rivers and Juan Pierre, they have that kind of, I don't know, side-to-side type walk.
Hudson struck out in the 5th inning when the Twins were trying to take advantage of a couple of singles.
Let's see if Punto tries to get in the scoring position. Punto with a couple stolen bases in 2 attempts. And the Twins have had good success against A.J. Pierzynski behind that plate.
And there's a strike, and off-speed pitch shaves the outside corner. Down 3 runs, and the Twins only have 8 outs left. And Maurer and Morno due up here, hopefully in the 7th inning. Hudson pulls it to Konerko. He gets the out there, and Hudson bounces into a double play. 3-6-3, and the Twins send just 3 to the plate in the 7th. And how his heel gets through the night. And they may make another roster move as soon as tomorrow regarding one of the catchers to add a relief pitcher for the road trip. You see Ron Mayhay and Jesse Crane warming up. Well, to that end, it's important that Alex Burnett get as many outs as he can to try to save the bullpen for tomorrow's game.
Yeah, Jose Majares is in town. He threw on the side here today. Jesse Crane and Ron Mayhay getting loose.
Here's Konerko to start the 8th inning. Put it another way, if Joe Mauer's heel is fine, if he's going to be able to take a steady and consistent workload, the Twins don't need 3 catchers. Particularly when you're going against the lineup the Yankees are going to throw at you, even the Blue Jays that have one of the best lineups power-wise right now in the American League East, and then the Red Sox. It's a tough road trip coming up. The Twins might very well add another reliever before they leave town. 1-1 to Konerko. 38,764 paid attendance, another sellout. And a called strike, 1-2. And again, maybe the most severe test for Minnesotans to come out and watch a ball game in inclement weather, very cold. The rain stopped just before game time, and yet they show up on a cool night to see the Twins and Sox 2-2. We have warm clothes in this state. Casey, one of our camera operators.
Is that what Joe does here?
Just off the inside corner. It's a full count. So Burnett doesn't want to issue a leadoff walk here, as powerful as Konerko is.
I know Ed Harris, our camera guy that was in our booth forever at the Dome. He's right above us.
But Ed was always a little bit above us all anyway.
That's true.
Ripped to left, and Young won't get it. It one-hops the fence. Konerko will dig for second, and Young's throw on the money, but a little late. Great throw by Delvin Young, right on target, and Konerko just barely was able to leg out an extra base hit.
He played to Karam perfectly as Konerko got a pitch up and hammered it down that left field line. Young racing over there to get it. And Konerko, of course, not a lot of speed. But Young getting it back in quickly and in the air, throwing it all the way to Hudson. But Konerko picks up his second hit of the ball game on his sixth double.
But now here's Rios, a pair of singles, including the single to right that started the 5-run fifth inning. Strike one.
There's Ed Harris.
Ed always protective of his equipment. Even his camera has a parka on up there. A foul, 2 strikes. We're hoping to obviously have on time and uninterrupted baseball tomorrow. The threat of rain reemerges tomorrow. It's a noon game. Two strikes to Alex Rios. Got him. A hard sinking fastball, and he swung over the top of it, one away.
Now second strikeout for Alex Burnett in relief of Kevin Slowey. That's exactly what it was. See Bauer sitting inside. Good fastball. Down and in, and Rios swinging over the top.
10 hits for the White Sox. Quentin is 0 for 3. Little infield pop up and 2 swinging strikeouts. Talk briefly about the Twins bullpen situation. The White Sox have an interesting one in that after Bobby Jenks blew the save opportunity on Sunday, Ozzie Guillen said, I don't know who I'm going to close with from here on out. We might let somebody else give it a shot. Give Bobby Jenks a breather. Pulled down the line but foul. And Quentin may have cracked his back. Bobby Jenks blowing his first save opportunity, but the 5 he's gotten haven't been pretty. And Jenks might or might not be given an opportunity to close in this series. Could be Thornton. Could be J.J. Putz, who's got some closing experience. Up high, 1-2.
Could be that Sergio Santos, too.
Yeah.
He's been throwing the ball extremely well out of that bullpen.
Matt Thornton's warming up as we speak, with the Twins sending up all the left-handed hitters in the 8th. Swing and a miss, and Quentin has gone down on strikes 3 straight times, and Ron Gardenhire is going to go to his bullpen with the left-hand swinging Mark Teahan due up.
Great job by Alex Burnett right there in relief of Kevin Slowey.
So Burnett does about as good a job as you can, and he got 2 outs after Konerko's double. And has kept the Twins in the game.
Just reared back and challenged Quinton right there to get his third strikeout in relief.
Ron Mayhay will try to get Martin and get the Twins off the field in the 8th. Get you a ticket to the game and a Schweigert's hot dog and a Pepsi. Log on to twinsbaseball.com or call 800-33-TWINS and order your tickets. Well, great job by Alex Burnett. Now Ron Mayhay assigned the task of getting Martin.
Well, great numbers so far for Ron Mayhay. 9 innings pitched, only 1 walk, but 9 strikeouts.
Inside a ball. 10 overall, struggling in his first year with the White Sox, particularly against left-handed pitching. He has just 3 hits in 24 at-bats, and my Minnesota high school math tells me that's an average of 125.
Yeah, these two guys were teammates in Kansas City. Ron Mayhay and Martin.
It's rare for teams to have trades within a division, yet there seems to be a pipeline almost between the Royals and the White Sox. They've had some former Kansas City pitchers that have come over and tried to pitch for the White Sox. Breaking ball dropped over for strike 2. Mike McDougal, Andrew Cisco, now position player 10.
Yeah, Tien getting traded over the winter for Chris Getz and also Josh Fields. And then Tien agreeing to a 3-year contract with the White Sox.
I always thought of Tien, and we'll see how it plays out. He was a good player on a bad team, and that he'd be a better player on a better team. Well, he, at least on paper, is playing for a better team right now. And just off to a slow start, at least that's what the White Sox hope. Next swing, I think he went. He did. And Mayhay gets his man. And the leadoff double is wasted. Twins down by 3. Go to the bottom of the 8th.
I'm Robbie and Smikowski, inviting you to stay tuned to Quest Twins Live, featuring the Toyota postgame wrap. We'll discuss Kevin Slowey's struggles tonight. He cruised through 4, unfortunately ran into a 5th-run inning against the White Sox. Footwork on the diamond is our instructional tonight. Tim Laudner, a former catcher, Ron Coomer, a former infielder, will take you through the fundamentals of footwork when playing defense. Plus, we'll bring you a reaction from both managers, Ron Gardenhire and Ozzie Guillen. You will not want to miss what Ozzie Guillen has to say. You never want to miss what Ozzie has to say. All on Quest Twins Live. Right, guys?
Ozzie, probably the most quotable manager in the major leagues. Mauer facing Matt Thornton, taking strike 1, and the second most quotable might be his counterpart on the north side of Chicago.
Oh, great numbers for Matt Thornton, 2.35 ERA in 15 1/3 innings, 25 strikeouts and only 3 walks.
Up the middle, and Mauer's got his 3rd hit. He's the one guy in the Twins lineup that has had some success against Thornton. All his hits have been singles. But Mauer now 8 for 21 against a guy who sure looks to a lot of people to be a closer and waiting for somebody.
Well, Thornton has an outstanding fastball, and that's what he tries right there, almost like a little cutter. But Joe Mauer, quick hands, takes it right back up the middle. And Mauer picking up his 3rd hit of the ball game. Twins with their 10th.
Morno has a couple of hits and a walk, including a home run, leading off the 6th inning. Morno with just 3 singles and 21 at-bats against Thornton. Lifted foul and over the Chicago dugout back into the seats. Talking earlier about somebody missing a pitch. I think Morno thinks he may have missed his pitch on that first pitch fastball. Breaking pitch away, 1-1. For tonight, at least, Thornton in a familiar spot, setting up the 9th inning. At least the White Sox hope he will. Deep to center. Very deep to center. Caught on a warning track. 405 feet from home plate. Morno cranked it against Thornton, but to the deepest part of the park.
Yeah, 411 feet to that bullpen fence right there, and Justin almost hit his 2nd home run of the ball game. Got a fastball. Good extension right here, but to the deepest part of the field. Rios going back on the warning track, catching it and getting it back in.
And now Kadire 0 for 3. Now Thornton checking with his middle infielders as to who he's going to deliver a throw to in the event he gets a comebacker. Up and away, ball 1. We've talked from time to time about how teams within the division, partly because the Twins lineup is so left-handed dominant, some teams have as many as 3 left-handed relievers. Fisted to the right side. Ouch. Kadire was thrown out, and on the plate, Mauer goes to second.
That cannot feel good on a cool night.
Tough night for Kadire. He's hit 3 ground balls, one of them for a double play, and is 0 for 4. That'll bring up Kubel.
Again, a good job by Freddie Garcia. He worked the first 7 innings. Had a couple double plays turned behind him.
Here's Kubel. The White Sox today signed veteran left-handed reliever Alan Embry to a minor league deal, with the idea that he might at some point be ready to come up and help pitch against this Twins left-handed lineup. Embry most recently was with the Red Sox.
They released him.
1-0 to Kubel. A walk and a single for Kubel in his last 2 at-bats. High fastball gets a swing and a miss. As long as he's been around, as long as he's faced the Twins have, current roster at least, manages 2 extra base hits against Thornton, and they've both been doubles. Foul to the net.
They've been pretty durable for the Chicago White Sox. Came over from the Seattle Mariners. over the winter of 2005.
Half swing, but he went. And another strikeout ends the inning. The Twins get another leadoff hit, but can't push them across. I don't know that there, in this league anyway, is a better setting for a ballpark than the one we've got here. Beautiful downtown skyline and a ballpark that maybe more than any other in our league shows up awfully well on TV. That's what people tell me.
Beautiful.
The Twins hoping to come back and win this game here as we go into the ninth inning, and Jesse Crain comes out of the Twins pen.
Yeah, good job by Alex Burnett. Good job by Ron Mayhay. Now Jesse Crain needs to do what they did and put some zeros on the board. For Jesse, this is his 13th relief appearance, 13 2/3 innings. 3 walks, 1 intentional with 11 strikeouts.
Here's Beckham to lead off the ninth for Chicago. Ball 1. Beckham 0 for 3. His woes continue. Last year, Beckham at third base, and because of the trade with the Royals, or maybe it was the inspiration for the trade, the White Sox wanted to move Beckham to second. They acquired T and put him there, hoping that Beckham would have the impact that he had a year ago when he was 5th in the Rookie of the Year ballot. 2-1.
Yeah, last year played in 103 ball games, hit .270. 14 home runs, drove in 63. Off to a slow start.
2-1 to Beckham. The 8th place hitter, Ramirez, will follow. And a curve missing, 3-1. Twins are due to send up the bottom third of their lineup, and it looks like it's going to be Bobby Jenks after all. He's warming up in the Chicago pen in anticipation of this being a 3-run lead going to the bottom of the ninth. Crain walks the leadoff man in the ninth inning. Tickets for the 2010 Twins autograph party are on sale, and you can remember this event was sold out over the last few years, and tickets purchased in advance save you $10. It's Saturday, June 12th. It's an annual event that features great autograph opportunities from current Twins as well as many former greats. Harmon Killebrew is planning on being here, Rod Carew. The autograph party benefits the Twins Community Fund, so call 800-33-TWINS or log on to twinsbaseball.com for tickets. Here's Ramirez, who got the biggest hit of the game for the White Sox. A a 2-run, 2-out double in the 5th. And then the White Sox backed that up with 5 more hits. And ended up scoring 5 times, but leaving the bases full. Crane with 6 pitches, only 1 strike. And Brian Dunsing starts to warm up. And a breaking ball over. Crane statistically still trying to recover from that 1 inning when he gave up 3 doubles on 4 pitches. Hits in 14 innings. 1 home run, 3 walks, 11 strikeouts. Just under 14 innings. Two and one.
Well, one thing Rick Anderson, the pitching coach, has been working with Jesse on keeping that left shoulder in as long as he can, and right there he really flew open. And one reason that fastball was down and away.
Runner goes, and the pitch line to center field. Span with the catch. They'll get a double play. With Beckham having already rounded second base, he had no chance of getting back. 2 away. So 2 down in the 9th.
I see Beckham taking off right there. Ramirez hitting it sharply. Span comes in. Beckham did not even go back and re-tag the bag. He knew he was going to be out. So the White Sox hit into their second double play of the ball game.
That very play worked for the White Sox in the 5th inning. They had runners at first and third and 2 away. And remember, they sent Tian, and then Ramirez hit a line drive to the gap in left center, and that allowed Tian to score all the way from first. Here it's a double play, and now Pierre bunts foul, 1 strike. Delvin Young will lead off the 9th for the Twins, and Harris and Punto. Twins bench does have Jim Thome, Lexi Casilla, Matt Tolbert, Drew Butera, and Wilson Ramos. Thome the biggest threat to be used if the Twins get men on base. Might be used in any event. Twins pretty well stacked with utility infielders, with Casilla and Tolbert both on the roster. Driven to right center field, and Pierre is going to have his first extra base hit. Kadire cuts it off, and Pierre checks in at second base.
Yeah, 31 hits for Pierre coming into that at bat, all of them singles. And with the outfield playing pretty shallow because he doesn't get a lot of extra base hits, Pierre on a low fastball kind of golfs it out to right center. Kadire cuts it off. Pierre gets his 3rd hit of the ball game.
Crane leaves with 2 outs and a runner at second, and Dunsing will pitch next. at center, and he'll hope Brian Dunsink can strand Pierre at second base.
Yeah, not a bad pitch right there, Pierre. He just kind of golfed it out to right center. Brian Dunsink coming in for the 13th time. Very good ERA, 12 2/3 innings, 7 strikeouts, 3 walks for Dunsink. Opponent's hitting just 209 off of him. And A.J. Pierzynski still loved here in Minnesota.
Pierzynski got a big hit, a 2-run double in the 5-run 5th inning. Lifted to left, and Young retreats to the corner. What do you always say? Should have been a relief pitcher?
Should have been a reliever. Now let's get him a win. Yeah, that's one bad inning for Kevin Slowey and the Twins, but Freddie Garcia, 7 very good innings. Some big hits in that 5th inning off of Kevin Slowey. A couple 2-run doubles. And Joe Mauer, welcome back. 3 hits behind the plate. And Bobby Jenks coming out of the bullpen looking for save number 6 in 7 save opportunities. A high ERA because of his last outing. He did not get an out. In a blown save opportunity against the Toronto Blue Jays, he allowed 4 runs without recording an out.
I'm not sure if it's a scoreboard asking the fans to make noise or whether they're doing it on their own with Jim Thome in the on-deck circle. It'll be Delman Young, Thome, Punto, and then the Twins hope 3 or 4 more here. Young drove in the first run of the game for the Twins with an opposite field double. Twins had a runner thrown out at the plate on the play. Couple of outfield flies bookending the double. Bobby Jenks, who blew a big save opportunity for the White Sox on Sunday, back on there trying to save it for the White Sox tonight. In a way, though, the perfect situation. Yeah. He's got a 3-run lead. He's pitching to the bottom of the Twins' order.
And a closer wants to get right back out there and with a bad outing like he had. 151 career saves.
2-0.
Falling behind on Delman Young.
What's befuddling is the lack of a vote of confidence for Jenks after the lost save opportunity on Sunday. Befuddling to a lot of people. There's a strike on the outside corner. And it wasn't so much, I don't think, according to people who follow the White Sox, the blown save is the successful saves and how wobbly he was in those successful save opportunities. 3-1.
Well, Jenks in his 6th season with the Chicago White Sox, 2-time All-Star for the White Sox. As I said, 151 career saves.
Driven to right on a 3-1 pitch. Young swings away and sends Jones near the warning track, 1 away. And that'll bring up Tomey with the bases empty. Tomey, in his first year with the Twins, asked to do this a lot. He didn't have the best of luck as a pinch hitter with the Dodgers late last year. He's 1 for 6. His one was a drive off the bat of Jenks in the series finale in Chicago off the fence in left field. Twins had a runner thrown out at the plate on that play. 2-0.
569 home runs for Jim Tomey. 41 have come against the Chicago White Sox. The team that he played for.
At the knees, 2-1. Strike 2. What they're saying in Chicago is Jenks has his good fastball, has his stuff. He's just off with his location.
We talked about good fastball right there. Great location. Talked that about Kevin Slowey, didn't we, at the beginning of the ball game?
Drilled to center. Rios is back off the base of the fence, and Tomey has an extra base hit with 1 out. And he hit that ball every bit as hard as he hit the ball in Chicago. So 2 line drives off of Jenks, and here comes Ozzie Guillen to the mound.
Well, fastball down. I mean, not a bad pitch, but Tomey's so strong. He just muscles that ball over the head of Rios. One hopping the fence. And Ozzie Guillen having some words with his right-hander, and as he walks back to the dugout.
Jimmy John's delivery of the game from the Chicago starter tonight.
Freddie Garcia almost pitched backwards here. I thought a lot of breaking balls, a lot of off-speed stuff. Had a couple double plays turned behind him. Garcia with 3 strikeouts in the ball game. Good fork ball right there. A good job of being under control.
Big at bat here for the Twins with Punto at the plate and Tolbert at second. Perhaps a bigger at bat for Bobby Jenks' season. He's been publicly told that he might lose the closer's job after Tomey's double. The manager came out, gave him some animated message. 1 strike to Punto. And a fastball at 95, 0-2. Need 1 more base runner. That'll kick away from Pierzynski, and Tolbert will go to third. Looked like he tried to throw him a 0-2 breaking ball, and he augured it into the dirt.
Yeah, Jenks one of those relievers just with a very good fastball. But then when he can get the breaking ball over, he's even tougher. But that one right there landing in front of home plate. Ricocheting toward the Twins dugout. Tolbert moves over to third. A wild pitch charge to Jenks.
1-2 to Punto. Got him. And Pierzynski has to throw to first for out number 2. What was that? An off-speed pitch of some sort that seemed to almost tail away from Punto.
Let's take a look at the pitch right here. Jenks. Wow, maybe a changeup. Good sick on that pitch.
Circle change, almost like a screwball. Here's Span trying to keep the game alive for the Twins. And if he can, Hudson will hit next. Checked his swing, and ball 1. will end the game. So a bounder up the dirt, and it just barely stayed fair. And so the White Sox, Anthony, who won their last game at the Metrodome, we'll take a break here. The White Sox won their last game at the Metrodome, and now they've won their first game at Target Field.